You know, Dottie and I, we thought we had this hunt, this turkey hunt, all figured out. You know, we had all the equipment. We had our blind that we could set up. We were going to get there, you know, early enough to roost a tom in the tree the first evening, and then we could go the next morning. We'd know right where to go. We could set up the blind, bring that gobbler right in within 20 yards of the blind and shoot him, you know, and it would be great. And we had these low rider chairs that we bought that were so comfortable. You could sit them down, you know, and they have backs to them, you know, which usually you just get a pad or something. But we had these nice chairs, and we had these nice decoys. I had all kind of decoys, you know. But how did it turn out that we actually got, you know, we harvested a tom? We didn't use hardly any of it, you know. It was crazy. And we were running and gunning, you know, nothing we figured out worked. We were running and gunning. We almost pretty much gave up. They weren't answering that first day at all. And then we hear this little gobble, and we're scrambling, you know, and I'm running back, stashed the buggy, you know, you saw, you know, we talked about it earlier. And then, and we end up getting that gobbler. I mean, I'm not even sitting in the chair. I'm not even doing anything. It was totally different than we would have thought it would be. And yet it was so exciting. And it just reminded me of, you know, how the Lord works so many times. You know, the Bible talks about that we plan, you know, men plan, but God is the one that directs. It reminds me of a couple of verses. First of all, in Proverbs 19:21, it says, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." And also in Proverbs 16:9, it says, "In his heart a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps." And I'm always looking for something that I could learn from God out in his creation, because he says he's clearly seen by all the things that he's made, you know. And that's what's so beautiful of being in the outdoors. And I think he's just trying to tell us that, hey, well, I want you to plan, because there's a lot of scriptures on planning. You know, God wants us to plan. He wants us to you know, think about the future and what we need to do. But don't rely on those plans completely. Trust in him, because it's probably not going to go the way we think it's going to go. Because God is far beyond us when it comes to knowing the future and knowing what's going to happen. And just trust him and watch how he can work things out, and just enjoy the ride, because he loves us and he's going to take care of us. And we can just walk by faith, even though we plan, even though we spend all this time figuring out the future, you know, as much as we can. We need to trust him and him alone. And so the next time you're out in the woods, and whatever you're doing, whenever your plans, you know, don't work out, look and see what God's doing, because he is sovereign, and he may be taking you down a whole different way of doing things, but trust him, because it's going to be better. He knows better.